Good evening, everyone. Om Shanti. Om Shanti Zoomers. I wonder how many of you were fortunate enough to see the meditative video that Brother Eric was showing upstairs in the sound room from 6:30 to 7. We had a very small audience here, but I was lucky enough to be sitting here watching it. And it was such a pristine picture of sand, the Kalahari Desert, I assume, maybe not the Poconos, maybe it was in Africa. And one lonesome person, I shouldn't say lonesome, one person alone, walking through the sand, leaving footprints in an otherwise pristine sand with natural drifts. And I'm thinking to myself, how much time do I delegate during the day to just being without anything happening and retreating into that private world in my head, that private world that has a choice? Because let's face it, you know, the theme tonight and for the whole month, we're inaugurating it tonight, is reclaiming the light. And the word reclaiming implies that we have left something at the doorstep, that we've lost something. And tonight, Sister Anjani is going to be talking about being the light and might, that even when it's dark outside, we have insight and spiritual power. That's our inner light, to give it away and to give it first as a gift to ourselves. And I'm watching this man walking alone on the sand, and I'm thinking of how I have to make an effort in this world, in this dark world, as the blurb said on the flyer. I have to make an effort to be in touch with who I really am. And you know by now, those of you who come every week, that we do know that we're souls and that the body is kind of interchangeable. But the soul is my light. And when I can deal with life and technology and people knocking on the door and kids crying and whatever life brings our way, is it possible to bring your inner light into those situations? And I'm thinking about what stops us from doing that. And I will tell you that I think that one of the greatest virtues of hanging around here for 8 years is that I don't worry the way I used to. I think the magic pill is not to worry, to just stay in the moment and really know that I can elevate and go to a place that trusts something that's really greater than myself. And that's the secret for me. And I'm sure Sister Anjani is going to bring a lot more to the table in the next hour. Sister Anjani, as most of you know, is our director here at Harmony House, Long Island, New York, those of you who are out of state and on Zoom. And she has been practicing and teaching Raja Yoga for over 40 years. And I have to tell you, I spend a lot of time here as a student, but as someone doing what we call seva, service. And this is my second home. And I spend a lot of time with Sister Anjani. And I can tell you that she is a role model, as are all the seniors I've met here. They really are able to stay in that elevated stage that we're going to talk about tonight, no matter what's going on. And, you know, we're all dealing with people all day long in situations. And it doesn't mean we're detaching and going and living in a cave and not talking to people and not picking up the phone. But to be in conversation or to be in any kind of transaction with people, I always have a choice to be in my higher self or to be involved emotionally. If someone is angry and I get angry back, I'm in trouble. But if someone's angry and I can step aside and say, well, maybe they're having a bad day, it's a higher way to be, right? So welcome everybody. And are you here? I have my back to you. All right, Sister Anjani, thank you so much for leading the way tonight. Looking forward to the hour.
Om Shanti and good evening, and thank you, Sister Louise. You know, it's a pleasure to see these souls every week, Thursday. Louise and Michelle just come here to play their beautiful part. And so, yes, and it's lovely to see my three friends here. So the light, it's the month of the light. We started talking about the light since in November with Diwali. And we can go on thinking about the light and talking about the light and feeling as though we are going deeper and deeper into the experience of the light. And so this evening, we're going to have a beautiful song now being played, and it's called Coming into the Light.
Where do I go with all these feelings and all these faces and open doors when everyone else seems so serene and I just feel so insecure? And where do I go when all the pieces of my heart lay on the floor? You say, come into the light, why don't you? Come into the light, why don't you? Come on now, come into the light. Where do I go with all these memories and all these bags filled up with shame? And how should I feel when you call me an angel and dress me in a crown of gold? And what should I do when tears of sorrow just won't stay inside these eyes? You say, come into the light, why don't you? Come into the light, why don't you? Come on now, come into the light. What should I do when a gentle-headed reaches out to take my own? And how should I feel when tears of joy, they just won't stay inside these eyes? And what will I do when I start to love you and really trust and know you're there? You say, you'll be in the light where I am. You'll be in the light where I am. Come on now, come into the light. You'll be in the light where I am. You'll be in the light where I am. Come on now, come into the light.
So that's a beautiful song. And I would say, Happy Hanukkah. It's the first night of Hanukkah. And so happy Hanukkah to all our friends and who are celebrating this special day, this special week of lighting the light every evening. And so tonight is that light that represents the big light, that middle light, that light that has to light all the other lights is being lit tonight. And so who is each one of us? We are the lights. So when I was thinking about this aspect of light, first is reclaiming. What am I reclaiming? I'm always myself. You know, we're always the light. So what are we reclaiming? We're always the soul, the energy. Everyone knows we are souls. By now, everyone knows we are the spiritual energy. But what is it that we're reclaiming in this energy? And when I'm saying that I'm light, might, what does all these words mean to me? What does it feel like? And so today when I was looking through, I wanted to get some lights for the holidays. I said, okay, let me see what they have. So then I'm looking at all the varieties of lights. And I'm saying, wow, look how creative people are in finding all these different colors and shapes and different ways to make things looking so beautiful for the holiday season. And then I'm wondering, why do we use so many lights? You know, why so many lights? Everywhere is lights. You know, you're walking into the yard of Harmony House, the front, what do you see? It's all lights. And so why do we celebrate the season with so many lights? Why? Do you have an idea? Steve, why do we do that? Sorry? You can't have too many. And so you go into the stores, you walked in there, and what do you see all around? It's lights and decorations and all of this. But I was thinking and feeling that when I look at any lights, like even the lights behind me here, it looks so beautiful. It looks festive. If I turn these lights off from the stage, what would it look like? It would be so dark. It would be different. It would be so different. And so what is the difference between all of us being, you know, all of us are, our light is on, you know, it's like our awareness is turned on, and I know that I'm a soul and I know I'm this light, versus there is darkness. I don't know I'm light. You know, we look around the world. Are we going to say, even though the sun is up shining, would you say that the world is full of lights? Yes, we can turn on those lights outside. But what about humanity? What about this world that we're living in today? We can see every day the need, the importance to bring this awareness of everyone being the light, and for everyone to come into the light, and for everyone to stay in the light, and for everyone to experience the richness and the beauty of being the light. Because if I'm not in the light, if I'm not being the light, then what am I being? What is life looking like as we look at the world? There's darkness. And so in that darkness, there is stumbling. In that darkness, there is chaos. In that darkness, no one can recognize each other. In that darkness, there is constant disagreement and constant conflict and all kinds of experiences that brings sadness in the lives of people today. And so how do we create that shift of awareness in helping humanity, helping my brothers and sisters to move from that place where they can't recognize each other anymore? The world doesn't know each other anymore. You know, had we known each other, had we recognized ourselves to recognize others, I think our world would have been such a beautiful place. we would have started to appreciate more what we have. And so because we can't see, we can't even appreciate what we have. And when I say appreciate, it's not to say, oh, the moon is beautiful, or the ocean is wonderful, or, you know, all the things we have physically around us is very beautiful. But to appreciate the qualities that those who I am with, those whom I meet, wherever I am at, I'm meeting so many, but do we appreciate, do we pause to see the goodness, the beautiful qualities that each person has within them? Sometimes you're living with someone and I can't see what's good in them. I can't recognize because I'm so caught up in my own darkness. How can I see? How can I ask someone who doesn't have eyesight to tell me what are the colors outside? Would they be able to tell me? They can't, because there's no sight to see. And so in life also, what is it we're looking for? Who is looking for something? We may have everything money can buy. We have everything physical around us, enough to eat, to wear, to go to places, to do all the things to enjoy ourselves. But I'm still unhappy. I still can't see clearly. I'm still disturbed inside. I'm still upset inside for different reasons in life. And so am I seeing? Is that sight? And this is why the first thing in light, when there is light, you can see there is sight. And that sight for us is knowledge. I need knowledge. Knowledge helps me to recognize, like I say, my friends are here. So what are my friends? There is knowledge. Who is here? Who is it that I haven't seen in a while and I used to see them? So you recognize. And so that's the recognition, which is of knowledge. So knowledge in spiritual language, knowledge is sight. Knowledge makes me see. Knowledge makes me understand. And so we say the light of knowledge. The light of knowledge is such that you never go into darkness. The moment we come into disagreement about something, or my mind moves from peace to peacelessness, you can see that shift in energy, that shift in experience. And if you look carefully, it's because I'm not recognizing something is missing in terms of my understanding, in terms of recognizing. And so if I go back to that place of knowledge, it will help me to see. Even if anything that's happening around us, mother and child, a husband and wife, friends, whatever it is that's creating any form of inner turmoil, external turmoil, whatever it is that it's creating, you will see it's because of lack of knowledge. And when one understands, then things start to change. It becomes different. And so what you're seeing through the eye of knowledge, the eye of recognition, and that becomes light. Because light means I can see. Light means there's no trace of darkness. And so can you imagine that in this world, we are more than 8 billion souls? Can you imagine if everyone's light was lit to the extent that they can see clearly? In their inner world, there is only light of knowledge, the light of love, the light of peace, the light of joy, the light to live, the light to breathe, the light to enjoy. What would our world look like? And if we move from the bigger picture and move and come to just myself, And I can be that. I can experience that. I can feel that. And I can share that. What does that look like? What does that feel like? And so I thought we're going to have pauses of meditation. It's not a lecture, but it's more, let's take moments and let's reflect on our self being the light. Let us reflect on what is so beautiful about knowing that I'm light. I am the light. And so let's enjoy a couple of minutes, sitting, relax, and holding an awareness. And the awareness of what I've recognized through the power of knowledge. Recognizing that I am light. I am the light of love. As I think of each quality, these qualities decorate my inner world. It is like hanging paintings in a room. Next to the back, appreciate the beauty, knowing that all these qualities are the qualities that lights up my inner world. It is the world that I live in. And I have choice to create this world and make it as beautiful as I would like to. As I look at each painting of the qualities, the experience in the soul becomes one of lightness, easiness. It becomes an experience. To invite everyone to create and experience such a beautiful world within themselves. I just need to become aware that I am love, peace, purity, happiness, mercy. These qualities bring to me. So powerful. Knowledge is light. Knowledge is might, and might is power. And when I think of power, it's not something that people struggle for out there. The world is struggling today for all forms of power. Everywhere there's a power struggle going on. Don't you think? Yes. One moment you have a seat, and the next moment you're off your seat. And so there's a big power struggle in the world today. This is not the power struggle. Anytime we have to struggle for anything, we move far away from power, from spiritual power. Because spiritual power is not something that anyone can struggle for. Spiritual power or spiritual might, might is a strength. Might is that which, they say, show me your strength. And so they use their arms and they show their muscles to show that strength. And so our strength is how firm can I stand? How much love can I have when no one offers me their love? Do I feel empty at the time when I don't experience human love or any form of love? Or do I feel that I can stand strong regardless of the situation? Don't you feel sometimes love is challenged? You have enough, you say, oh, you've shared so much with a person, but then what do I get back in return? And that's when we shake. That's when love shakes. And so it's not a strength anymore, but that same love becomes my weakness. Peace, for example. Oh, I'm moving along so peacefully until someone creates some situation of chaos in front of me. And I say, but I was so peaceful. Then what happened? What happened to my peace? Just a moment ago, I was so peaceful. And then this block came in front of me. And I just feel my mind becomes heavy. And so who created that heaviness? I created my heaviness because the peace I had wasn't the peace of strength. It was, and that's where we have to go back and see, how do I build my foundation of these qualities? Whether it's love, whether it's peace, whether it's happiness, contentment, the joy of life, all these qualities. How is it that as a soul, I'm creating and making these qualities very strong, firm, and the soul experiences as might? And so this is where for us, we know that the more I use any one of these qualities, especially when you're being challenged. Which quality challenges you, Robin? What's your challenge? Do you have any? You're asking Steve to help you. Distractions. Distractions to focus. And so that's a challenge. And so if it's a challenge, what is it that I need that I can stay in that strength so that I'm not easily moved by the things that's passing by me? You know, if you're driving somewhere and if everything is going to distract you, then what will happen? Not a pleasant scene, right? And there are everything you could look at and you could think of them as distractions. But while they are, you're not noticing them because you have a focus. Your attention and your awareness is on that specific, you have a destination. And so the destination is your focus. And so you keep moving towards your destination. But if I don't have a destination, I'm going to easily be distracted. Right. Now they have created the cars that will tell you, right? You have all these, that's right, where you need to be. Or you're driving and the next thing you know, your tires are making these loud noises, telling you, okay, you got off track, get back on track. And so even in our lives, the things that happens around us and pulls the triggers that gives us different experiences that we don't like, tells me those are my distractions. It's telling me that it's not helping me to hold my inner strength, hold on to my inner powers. And so this is where, as we keep on using these qualities, any one of the qualities that I keep on using again and again, that same quality becomes so strong internally that you will not fall easily. But it would become your support. It would become that which will, like a person holding a stick and you're walking. But this is not like a walking stick, but it would be something that would always come to your rescue. It will always be there. So it's as though the scenes will pass by, but you're being you. You're being who you are. You're being who you are in that experience. You're being who you are in that moment of whatever is that situation. And so it's so important for us to pause at any given moment and observe, step back and just, look at the self and see what's going on internally. And then as I recognize that, and I'm using the knowledge and I'm using what is it that, maybe someone may be impatient and I can have patience to share. I've just empowered myself and someone else. That's my might. That's my strength. That's my inner power. And so I keep doing it again and again. And what does life look like? What does it feel like at that moment? Right, Debbie? Debbie, what's your challenge? To use tolerance. Do you have it or you look for it, look around where you can find it? Or who will give it to you? Right. So it would be no matter what's happening around me. Because at any given moment, we feel that there is an inner conflict. Something is creating ripples of waste, ripples of that which is negative in my feelings or in my thoughts. It's telling me that I need to go back to see something is missing. The light is being turned off here. Maybe a bulb is gone, or something is happening. So I need to go back and check to see what is it that if I can restore that, my world would be a beautiful space. There would be the experience I want to live with myself. Today, how many people block that world? And what do we block it with? The different forms of noises. Some play music. Some say, let me go away on a holiday. Some say, let me do this, let me do that. Right? So let me go away from myself, not realizing that I'm taking myself with me wherever I go. So when you go for a holiday, you didn't leave yourself home. You are. And so you are the one who is going wherever you're going. And so what we carry with us is all the thoughts and feelings and emotions I was just having at home, or I was having at workplace, or I was having wherever. So I said, okay, I'm going to go on a boat cruise. And everything comes with me on the boat cruise. And so if I have the habit of liking to worry, for example, even I'm in this space where nothing is there for me to worry about, I will still create something to worry about. And so it's these habits, the way we have allowed ourselves to live in the world is where we have lost all our inner strength. And we keep repeating those kind of habits again and again. And as much as we repeated it, it has brought us to this point in our lives where we say, everything seems to be going wrong inside. But if it is my world, my inner world, and everything seems to be going, topsy-turvy, then who made it? Who made it topsy-turvy? Who is the one who is responsible for it? And who's the one who's going to change it? It's not the people who live in my head. I give them, rent space to live, and they are the ones who made it topsy-turvy. No, they are not the ones. And so it's a responsibility that we take towards ourselves with that love, with that care, with that compassion, with that mercy, with all these qualities that build a strength inside of us. When I observe my own self, my own life, coming to the Brahma Kumaris, I was just about 21 years old. And when I look back in those days, I had a lot of courage. And I think it was courage that put me on this path, that nothing and no one, when I recognize that this is what I felt I wanted, there was no one who could have said no to me. There was no scene and situation that could have said, you know what, it's the wrong path. Even if someone said to me, you're being brainwashed, I said, yes, great. My brain is being washed and becoming more clean. So it's great it's being brainwashed. And so all these things, so many different thoughts would have been in my path. But it was a strength because I knew this is who I am. I am a soul. And I knew that if I am a soul and I'm light, then there is the supreme light, the supreme source of power, that recognition came at the same time when I recognized that I'm light. So when I needed something, when I felt that, I don't feel so much loved inside, I knew where to go. I didn't go looking, human beings are going to give to me. Yeah, they're going to give to me, but I also knew that they're also going to give me sorrow. So I didn't look in that direction. I look in the direction of God. So there are many distractions, but the faith in the one who is the source of strength, the source of that strength can be the source of my support. That would lead me through anything. And that's a might, that's a power that when we receive that, we can go through the most difficult situations in life. And most difficult situations will come in all forms. Come in your own body, come in relationships. Sometimes it's material possessions. It will come from what's happening in the world if that's one of my greatest interests. It will come from those who are so connected in their religion. And so whom do we turn to? Whom do we go to? Whom am I going to look at for the things that I need for my strength? And so one aspect is to keep using the qualities in the midst of a situation. The other is take that quality and go to God. And when I'm connected to the source and feeling, experiencing from the source, the one who is constant, the one who is always full, the one who is always in its original form, its nature is that. God is. God never changes. Who change? We change. We go up and we come down. We go up and we come down. In the morning, we could be up. An hour later, we could be down. And so we go up and down. We fluctuate. God never does that. He's always constant. So let's turn inwards again and connect to the source of our strength, the source who is constant, the source who is all powerful, the source who makes me and fill me with that might, that I never feel depleted in any form of this pure energy. So once again, let's reflect. And let's see the qualities that we have put up in our living room of our minds. My inner space, my inner world. Decorate this space. Experience how light and free is this space. And the more the space is full of light, it becomes easy for me to connect with the Supreme Source, the Supreme Light, the one who is the Almighty Authority, the one with all the powers. Feel as though you've become immovable and unshakable. The world is full of courage internally. There's no fear of any kind. I feel so safe in my own beautiful space because I am creating this space. And when my mind turned the switch off, I also recognize that. So feel how beautiful is your world that you want to stay with yourself. Because this world is natural. It is what I want to be. And I am in the company of the Supreme Authority. Om Shanti. Do you think you're ready for any scene that happens? You've left it behind and you're going to step out of the room. Are you going to go back and pick it up, or are you going to look at it differently? What would you do, Steve? You set up the scene to begin with. That's right. So whatever vision I came into this room with, or whatever other scenes and the stories of my life, now my vision for it will be different. Because I've received something, I've given to myself something different, a quality, a power that will help me to go back to that scene, to go back to that aspect of my life, that I'm going to deal with it differently. I'm not going to see it the same way. If I was seeing someone with a feeling of disagreement, or I was seeing someone with a feeling of, dislike, whether this part of the world or any part of the world, but just to know that I am light and they are light. I am love and they are love. I am peaceful and they are peaceful, because I can feel that within myself. I'm going back with a different approach to life, with a completely different experience of how I want to see and how I want to live. And it's my life. And see how each one of us, when we pay attention to the way we think and the way we come into these experiences and using this in real life, how much it will impact others that we come into relationship with. And the challenge is when I don't, then what it creates for others. I'm moving along peacefully. And as I said, someone comes in the way. Right? Totally off. It's not that person that threw you off. But because somewhere I've lost my inner strength to stand, to withstand the storm, my world collapsed. And so it's a method, the method to go back to the source, method to go back within myself and be in that space. And the next is go to God. Connect with each other with that awareness of knowing, with knowledge, because knowledge tells me that we are all lights. And that's the sight I will have. I'm able to see. And then there is that constant strength internally that no matter what's happening around me, I will stay unshakable in any circumstances. So everyone, those who are on Zoom, just think about yourself a little bit deeper in this holiday month. As we prepare for the new year coming, if we look back at last year and we're here this year and then the new year coming, take this time to reflect, bring the changes I need to bring by new way of thinking, new way of living, new way of being, new way of sharing, new way of doing everything. So you feel the joy of life. You feel the joy of something different. That's also strength. So think about it a little bit more and go deeper into yourself to move away from the darkness of the world and really to stay in your own light so that you can be with God. Om Shanti. Luis, are you going to manage? If not, it's all right. I can just make your announcement for you. Okay.
Sorry for any interruption. It has a mind of its own, right? You cough, right? You know that. Okay. So thank you. I heard most of it. Trying to silence myself. Okay, so next week we have our holiday program. And in addition,
Don't miss it.
don't miss it because we have some special Broadway actors. Myself, Michelle, and a few other cast people you may recognize doing a very cute little skit on a takeoff on Ebenezer Scrooge and A Christmas Carol. And we'll also have some meditation and just good cheer. And please do join us next week. I'm not sure.
Yes.
And it's
Zoom will
also-
only be for a part. Yeah. Actually, the program will be.
Okay, but I do want to tell you that the program does begin at 6:30, right? We're not doing a half-hour meditation. The program is from 6:30 to 8. And so please join us for that. Anything else you want to mention? Let me see. We're not meeting December 21st, correct? Too close to Christmas. And we are having a New Year's Eve bash here, Sunday, December 31st from 6:30 to 8 p.m. And it is in person.
Zoom will be just for the meditation and a little.
So we will have
The
some
meditation will be on Zoom.
meditation on Zoom. Otherwise, please come and join us in person here if you can on New Year's Eve. Okay. Anything else you want to mention?
Levittown.
Ah, Saturday, yes. Sister Anjani is doing a beautiful outreach in Levittown from at 10:30 to 11:30, right?
Mhm.
And I hope to join you also.
And that's 3,000 Levittown.
Oh, right, yes. So there is a
Room
flyer on that
303.
if you're on the mailing list.
And so for those who are listening on Zoom and you're living in the area, please join us. And if you haven't received the flyer, you can give us a call so that we can get you the information and you can join us and encourage your friends and family to join us. As the world becomes darker, we are the lights.
Yes. And it was lovely last week, Saturday morning. It was true. We had 16 people and they're apparently bringing others also. So do join us. Yeah, 3,000,
Room 303.
room 303, 3,000 Hempstead Turnpike? I think it was. Across from Tri-County.
Okay, just call us for the
Call us.
flyers and then you'll have all the details.
So you talked about choices tonight. We hope you choose to come join us Saturday morning and choose to just put a full stop on anything that's going on and just go to that higher place that Sister Anjani models so well for us. Okay.
So let's not waste our energy, there shouldn't be leakage. You know, when something is leaking, everything gets leaked out. So let's not allow those things to happen. And so finally, let's go back into ourselves for 2 minutes. And in this 2 minutes, once again, recognize your own strength. And I also recognize mine. What is it that takes away my strength easily? And how can I move to that space where it is constant? Go deeper within myself. What I'm looking for. And glory. Without self, mind, intellect, connected is true. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. So see you next week.
See you next week.
And see you tomorrow on Saturday.
Good night, Zoomers.